Greetings, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Holy Toon, and we're back at it on Toon Be Chilling with another Bible study. This is Bible study number 3. We're going to continue where we left off, which is where it introduces Isaac and Rebecca based on Genesis 24. But before we get into this story, we're going to do a little quick recap of what we read on the last Bible study. So we learned that you should put your faith and your trust in God, no matter what the circumstances are. We covered the story of Abraham. Abraham ended up not putting his faith in God. Him and his wife, Sarah, she offered her maid to Abraham to have a kid for her because she couldn't conceive. Abraham had his first kid a little over 99 years old. Sarah took the child, Ishmael. She was happy and joyous, but then she started resenting. Hagar started resenting Sarah, and there was a little beef between both of them. And then eventually, God was disappointed that they went about it in their own way and they didn't have faith. And he's like, well, you were going to conceive anyway. And Abraham ended up having his own child, Isaac, with his wife, Sarah. After she had her own child, she started really resenting Hagar, and jealousy started to kick in. And she told Abraham that he should send them off to a faraway land. And that's what he did. He listened to his wife, and he sent off his son and his mistress, which was once their house servant, their housemaid. He sent them off, and they went to go start a new land. Now, God was testing him, and he told him, sacrifice your son, your one true son, which is the one that he had with Sarah. And if there's one thing that Abraham learned throughout his journey, he learned that you should always listen to God, no matter what the calling is. So he takes his son up to the mountain, and he's going to sacrifice his son. His son has no idea what's going on. And his son's helping him set everything up, make the altar. His son's completely clueless. And Abraham pulls out a weapon, and he's about to sacrifice his son. And as soon as he's about to sacrifice his son, he says, God, I have this offering for you. God says, stop. I just wanted to test your faith and see how faithful you were, if you were going to listen. And he was really going to listen. He was really going to sacrifice his son. Now, in this book, they made it a little bit more comedic. They made it a little bit more like comedy-like, because in the real Bible, we don't see no imagery, and we don't have, any jokes or punchlines. Here, it was kind of funny. In the last Bible study, I was cracking up because the artwork that they used was really hilarious. But in all actuality, that's what took place. Abraham was willing to sacrifice his one true son to the Almighty God. Now, in exchange of not sacrificing his son, because God told him, stop, you don't have to do it. I was just testing you. They did sacrifice an actual animal. And the way that works is blood for blood. The blood that wasn't shed is the blood that he received. So he didn't have to shed his son's blood, but they still had to, in exchange, give a sacrifice, which in that case was an animal sacrifice. That was in the Old Testament. But one thing you learn is you have to have faith. You have to put all your spirit into God, no matter what circumstances you're battling. It might not make sense. It's not going to make sense in the beginning. It's going to be hurtful. It's going to be painful. It's going to consume you. It's going to be, it's going to cause a lot of emotion. But in the end, Abraham was blessed in abundance. He was blessed tenfold for actually following through with his faithfulness. So that's where we left off on the story. Now let's continue to proceed. We're going to use our handy dandy hand. Isaac and Rebecca based on Genesis 24. Now I do apologize about the light. Let me see if I can pull this light back just a little bit. I see there's like a really strong glare. Let's see if I can lower it. There you go. I just wanted to have some light. No, I kind of need some more light though, because I kind of got to read. I kind of need some light. I'm sorry about the glare, guys. All right. All right, guys. So let's see. Abraham is now old and has, mind you, before we got to this chapter, his wife Sarah passed away. That's one thing I forgot to mention. Abraham is now old and has seen many, many years. In the midst of grieving for his wife, he plans for his family's future. God has promised that my descendants will outnumber the sand in the desert, which means Isaac must start his family. Now remember, both his sons went separate ways. Ishmael went with his mom, Hagar, and Isaac stood with him. But God made a promise that he was going to have more descendants than there are stars in the sky. But Isaac still grieves for his mother. Every day he goes alone into the wilderness to mourn for his mother. If only he had a wife to comfort him. So over here we can see Isaac. Isaac lost his mom. That was Sarah or Sarai. Passed away. So he's honestly, going through it. I think anybody would if they lost their parent. Abraham calls his most trusted servant. Now, mind you, Abraham and Isaac are father and son, but Abraham's equivalent to like a great king. So Isaac ends up, being the heir of the great king. That's why he ends up, saying that he has to start a family, and he ends up getting a land and all of that of his own. Eliezer, before I die, I want to see Isaac happily married, but he must marry a woman from my own people. Go to Nahor and bring back a wife for Isaac. So Eliezer is sent to go get a wife for his son. But you heard the stipulations, right? He must marry a woman from my own people. Abraham's servant gathers a long caravan. He leads it across the desert and finally reaches the city of Nahor, where Abraham's relatives live. What a big city. How will I ever find the right wife for the man who will be chief of our tribe someday? So he's on the horse, you got the camels and all that. So back then they would really kind of play like blind date. You would actually have somebody chosen for you. There wasn't really much you can do as far as being selective of it. What the family said you had to marry, that's who you had to marry. Let me see if I can move this over so there's not too much glare. All right, so we're over here, guys. Let's see if I can move this over. We do have a little glare. I'm gonna have to back that light up just a little bit. Maybe I can bring the light up a little higher. Sorry for the interruptions, guys. I apologize. There you go. Think it's a little higher. It's not a strong glare. Abraham's servants reaches Nahor in the evening. He rests by the well just outside town and sees young women of the city coming to get water. You got him over here. That's Eliezer. And he's over there checking out all the ladies, trying to figure out which one will be a good mate for Isaac. God, let this be the test. Whoever gives water to me and my camels will be Isaac's bride. Wow. What a test. Basically, if you brought him water, you were going to end up somebody's wife. She's beautiful. Check it out. Look at. Look at her right here. That's what he's thinking to himself. She's beautiful. Is she the one? Miss, could I please have a drink? I'll be glad to get you a drink. And I'll draw water for your camels too. And then look at him. He lies to her right here. He's like, she is the one. Remember? Because he said, whoever brings him water and whoever gives water to the camels is the one. So she got herself trapped. She got trapped for offering water. So ladies, next time you see somebody thirsty, unless you're trying to get married, you gotta let them stay dehydrated. When the girl finishes watering the camels, Eliezer gives her a nose ring. and gold bracelets. Wow. So even back then in the biblical days, they had nose rings. That's crazy, right? What is your name? Do you think there's room for me to stay in your father's house? This is her over here. These are beautiful. My name is Rebecca. We have plenty of room for you at our house. Just a minute. So Elisha gave her some jewelry. Remember the nose rings and all of that. He asked if he could stay. And back then it was hospitable. It was hospitable. God wanted you to welcome in strangers. So that's what they did during that time, welcome in strangers. Rebecca runs to tell her family when she shows them the presents. Her brother Laban goes out to meet Abraham's servant. Come with me. My father has room for you and your caravan. Wow, that's crazy, right? Like how they used to just welcome in strangers. Abraham's servant tells everyone who he is and explains that God has chosen Rebecca to be the bride of Isaac, son and the heir of Abraham, her great uncle. Dang, that's deep, right? Like that's really deep because all over a glass of water. So after Abraham's telling the family, you see them all sitting around here over, I guess that's probably like supper. Take Rebecca to be the wife of my uncle's son. Do it just the way the Lord has said. Early the next morning, the caravan gets ready to return to Abraham's camp. Rebecca says goodbye to her family, and the caravan begins its long journey. So he straight up picked her up. He just abducted her. Look at her right here. He didn't like technically abduct her, but he picked her up. It all started with a glass of water. They had a sleepover, and the family gave her away. So days later, the caravan nears Abraham's camp. Rebecca wonders, what will Isaac be like? Tall and strong, like a chief's son? I wonder if he will love me. So she's over there pondering. Who is the man coming to meet us? That's Isaac. Oh, so that's her future husband. She ain't even know it. He is handsome. Is this the woman I'm going to marry? Yo, it's crazy because they don't know each other. They don't know each other from the back of their hand, yo. When Isaac sees Rebecca, he falls in love with her at once and takes her to his father for his blessings. They get married immediately, and the whole camp rejoices that God continues to watch over Abraham's family. Yo, that's crazy, right? That it was that quick. Like, no, like, questioning, no getting to know him. Nope. Listen, I see your face. I'm in love instantly when we get married. Birthright stew. All right. Birthright stew is based on Genesis 25 through 26. After a long and happy life, Abraham finally joins his wife in death. So, unfortunately, Abraham passed away too. So, Isaac lost both his mom and his pop. Abraham and Sarah's gone. They're no longer in the story. Isaac leads Abraham's tribe to the burial cave of Machpelah or Machpelah to place the body of his great chieftain beside his wife, Sarah. The body of its great chieftain beside his wife, Sarah, and the great chieftain is Abraham. But Isaac, like his father, has gone a long time without having any children. Rebecca is barren. We've tried every remedy known to man. Nothing has worked. Now I must pray to God and trust his promise. Wow. So that's crazy because it happened to his father. His father, he almost thought that he was sterile because he didn't have kids until it was 99 or 100. That was with the maid. And now the son is having the same situation. He's also not able to have kids, and they tried everything, every remedy with her, and he hasn't been able to conceive. So now he has to put his faith in God and pray that he'll be able to have a kid. The Lord answers Isaac's prayers and Rebekah becomes pregnant. But her pregnancy seems unusual. When they inquire of the Lord, he tells Rebekah that she is pregnant with twins. Wow, I think twins are like some of the most spectacular blessings that you will find on planet Earth. I think twins are awesome. You will give birth to two nations. One will be stronger than the other, and the younger will rule the older. When Rebekah gives birth, her first son is reddish and hairy. They name him Esau. By clutching Esau's heel is Jacob. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me read that from the top. I feel like I destroyed that sentence. When Rebekah gives birth, her first son is reddish and hairy. They name him Esau. But clutching Esau's heel is Jacob, who does not want to be left behind. As the boys grow up, Isaac earns a reputation as a man who avoids conflict. But Isaac fails to see the conflict growing between his own twin sons. So, got two twins right here. Which one will be ruler after Isaac? Esau is stronger, and Jacob is more clever. Esau has the birthright because he is the oldest, but I'd be surprised if Jacob doesn't do something tricky. If I were Isaac, I'd pay more attention to the competition between those two boys. So there's already sibling rivalry. Kind of reminds us of something, right? It reminds me of Cain and Abel, the sibling rivalry between the brothers. Let's see if I can adjust this some. There you go. I think that's a little bit better. It's just a little difficult for me to read, guys, because I'm literally about 1.5 feet away. I'm pulling this table closer to me. And I'm also behind the camera. So I'm going to try to do my best to read with the camera in my way. One day when Esau returns with fresh food from hunting, Isaac praises him. Esau is a mighty hunter. So Esau looks like he has a goat. He caught a goat. Yes, he's strong as an ox and dumb as one too. Oh, his brother's hating on him. That's his brother. He said he's strong as an ox, but dumb as one too. Jacob bides his time. One morning during a hot spell, Esau sets out for a hunting trip. This is a chance for Jacob. This is the chance that Jacob has been waiting for. Esau will find game at the waterhole miles away from here. When he gets back from the long day's hunt, he'll be tired and hungry, and I'll be ready for him. So again, it looks like his brother's plotting on his own sibling. You see him? So Esau's gonna go hunting, and his brother's like, I'm gonna wait until after he comes back from hunting, and then that's when I'm gonna get him. Towards sundown, Jacob waits for his brother outside camp. This is him waiting. Here he comes, and without any game. Didn't he catch anything? Camp with its food is only a short distance away, but Esau is so hungry he can't wait. I'm starving. Give me some of the stew you're making. Will you trade your birthright for it? What? I remember this story. That's crazy. So before we move forward, so birthright. This is why it's called birthright stew. So remember I said earlier that Abraham was king, and then Isaac, since he's like, the pure son, that he, gets all of the riches from his father and so on, right? So he ended up being king, and vice versa. When his sons were born, the oldest gets the birthright. The oldest gets the birthright of all of the riches in the kingdom and all of that stuff, right? But his brother was slick. His brother is now offering him a bargain or a barter. He's saying, Esau came and said, oh man, I'm hungry. Give me some of that stew you're making. So his brother said, will you trade your birthright for it? So basically, will you trade being a king, all your riches, everything that you're going to get from Pop for some stew? That's crazy, right? That sounds like a dumb trade. Well, that's a dumb question. Is a birthright tasty and filled with savory meat? I'll take the still. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, that's he's really gonna trade his birthright for food. Here is the stew. Swear that your birthright is mine. Now, back then, you got to remember that the birthrights were basically not only granted to the oldest, but you know how now we do everything like notary or we do everything like on contract? When he says swear, he says swear by it. If you swear by it, it counted as a contract because their word, if they didn't have their word, they had nothing. So he's going to make his own brother swear by the birthright. I promise the birthright is yours. I'm dying of hunger. Let me eat. Look at. He had a big old grin on his face. Here, eat all you want. Isu's birthright is mine. Someday I will inherit a double share of my father's wealth. I will rule the tribe, not Isu. You see? It's always jealousy amongst brothers and siblings. It's crazy. But Jacob has a long time to wait. His father is still strong and powerful, and as Isaac grows older, it becomes clear that Esau is his favorite son. Jacob realizes that tricking Esau into giving him the birthright is not enough. Somehow he must convince his father to give him the family blessings as well. For all his tricky plots, Jacob can't disobey his father. His father Isaac is the head of the family. His mother Rebecca, however, is the brains. Isaac doesn't know that Jacob has already claimed the birthright that belongs to Esau. Find my son Esau. Tell him that I must see him right away. So this is Isaac. It's crazy because Isaac's an old man. Abraham, which was his pop, was once an old man. We literally watched Isaac grow from a teenage boy to an old man in this story, which is crazy. So he wants to see his son. The stolen blessing, based on Genesis 27. You called me, Father? Isaac has grown old. His eyesight is failing. Now he decides it is time to give his older son the blessings that includes ruling the tribe, which is why he wanted to call his son. Let me take a sip of this water, please. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for stopping through the chat. I appreciate it. If I haven't got a chance to respond to you, I'm sorry. Need a little bit of high quality H2O. Quite parched. You called me, Father? Yes, Esau. I am old and tired. I don't know how soon I'll die. Bring me some choice Venetian, and I will give you the blessing that seals your birthright. Yo, what's crazy is that back then they was like trading like big titles and they were trading serious things for food. Cause his one son gave up his birthrights for what? Still? And right now he's about just to bless his son if he brings him Venetian food. Essentially, he wants food. He's starving too. Rebecca hears what Isaac says and runs through the camp. Find Jacob. Tell him to come to my tent right away. Hurry. Listen, Jacob, your father is getting ready to give Esau the blessing. You must get that blessing or birthright. Esau traded you means nothing. But what can I do? Go tell your father that you are Esau. He can't see a thing anymore, and he will bless you by mistake. So check this out. This is Rebecca. Remember Rebecca? That she was the one that the family forfeited her overnight, and Elisa went and picked them up. It was Abraham's homie. Well, she's trying to convince her son to scheme too. So she's also right there, like that's sinful, because she knows she's doing wrong. She's insisting, go and lie to your father, go and steal the birthright, because she already learned that he wants food. So now she's saying, basically, go and get your father some food so he can bless you with the birthright. But my skin is smooth and Esau is really hairy. Father will touch me and know that I am not Esau. Remember, because he's blind, he's old. Isaac's old, so what's going to happen is he's going to feel his son and say, hold on, my son's arms are hairy, your arms are smooth. So she comes up with a plan. Rebecca comes up with a plan. She says, I've thought of everything. Here, put on Isu's fur robe. These skins on your arm and neck will make you feel like Isu. So she's helping. She's helping with the plot. But what if? So right here you see that they're getting dressed, or he is getting dressed. She's helped dressing him. Do you want the birthright or not? If you do, then do as I say. If the plan fails, I'll take the blame with your father. Wow, look at her. You're right, mother. Give me the food to take to father. Father, I have brought you, but wouldn't he be able to know his voice? Like, even though he can't see, like, don't both sons sound differently, right? That's a good question. Father, I have brought you the meat you asked for. Eat and give me your blessings. Check it out. He walked in his tent. This is his father over here. You see a man in the shadow. How did you hunt the food so quickly? Um, the Lord helped me. Look at his face. Yes, the Lord helps those who obey. Come near me so I can make sure you are my older son before I give the blessing. You see? So they're about to again trade off. He's about to take the food, but before he blesses them, he's like, come close so I can feel you, make sure I'm giving the blessing to the right son. It's strange. The voice sounds like Jacob, but the hands are Esau's. Are you really Esau? Oh, you see, I knew the voice was like, I'm like, hold on, but like, you can't really fake the funk that much if your voice is not matching. Yes, I am. So he lied to his father. Again, this is all sinful. This is all like deceit. Will he believe me? That's what he's thinking. He does. So he really does, and he's taking a sip of it. Look at it. See him right here drinking it? He's taking a sip of it. God, give the riches of the earth. Let the people serve you, and nations bow down to you. Be master over your brothers. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you. So that's Isaac blessing his son, who he believes to be Esau, but in all actuality, I believe it's Jacob. So he ends up blessing him. No sooner has Jacob given up the blessing than, I'm sorry, no sooner has Isaac given the blessings. Let me drink a little bit more water because thirsty as ever. Greetings, guys. Let me see if I can process this sentence accordingly. No sooner has Isaac given the blessing than Jacob out of his father's tent. I can't process that sentence. It's like my brain isn't registering. No sooner has Isaac given the blessing than Jacob rushes out of his father's tent. I don't know. That just doesn't sound like clean English to me, but hey, then again, who am I? Mother, the blessing is mine, but what will Esau do? But while Jacob and his mother are rejoicing, Esau returns. Look at Esau looks like a deer around his neck. So Esau was straight up a hunter. Esau was really like about that life. Esau prepares his meat and takes a large tray of it to his father. Father, eat the food I've brought you and bless me. Oh, look at his arms are hairy. You see, I don't know if y'all can see. His arms are hairy. Remember that he was able to tell the difference from both sons because even though they were twins, one's arm was hairy. Well, look at he's hairy as ever. But guess what? He's too late. Because remember earlier I said that back then, the word was like a contract. You couldn't go back on your word. So he already did the blessings and he asked God to bless that son. Guess what? He's too late. And here's Isaac right here. He said, who are you? Remember, because he can't see. That's his own son. And he's like, who are you? And this is his son over here. Who am I? I'm Esau, your firstborn son. You told me to bring you some Venetians so that you could give me your blessing. Then who did I just bless? I've been deceived. I can't once given. I cannot. give the blessings to another. So it looks like he's like registering. He sounds just as bad as I sounded a page ago. Like his brain isn't braining. Let me see if I can read that again. Then who did I just bless? I've been deceived. Father, bless me too. Please bless me too. I can't. Once given, I cannot give the blessings to another. Wow. You see? So he straight up just lost his blessing. All over some food. That's the second time in the short span of the story have people traded riches and kingdom for food. But Father, could you at least have another blessing for me? Only this, my son. By your sword shall you live and serve your brother. But one day you will break his yoke from your neck. Wow. So you can't get it back. Look at him crying. He's sad. Trembling with rage, Esau leaves his father's tent. I'll kill Jacob for this. Yo, brothers trying to kill brothers, yo. What's up with that? It's like Cain and Abel. First of all, that's his fault. You know how he said that I'll kill him and all of that? He was the one that traded soup. Like, if you're coming in late, right now you got the twins, Isaac's twin boys with Rebecca, Esau, and Jacob. Well, Esau traded all his birthrights to his brother Jacob for a bowl of soup because he was so hungry. That's crazy, right? And then the father, Isaac, just blessed his other son, which is the scheming one, Jacob, gave him kingdom and riches and all of that. For what? Some Venetian. So these people have big appetites back in the day. Stairway to Heaven. Based on Genesis 27, chapter 27, verse 41 through 28, and all up to 22. Esau is going to kill Jacob. Jacob has successfully stolen his brother's birthright from their father, Isaac. With Esau's threat to kill Jacob ringing in her ear, a servant girl runs to Rebecca's tent. Esau is just upset. Don't tell anyone what you heard. But and find Jacob and tell him to come to me at once. I'm going to read that again. Esau is just upset. Don't tell anyone what you heard. Find Jacob and tell him to come to me at once. You must go away until your brother calms down. Go visit my brother Laban in Haran. I'll let you know when it's safe for you to come home. That's crazy because it's her fault. So was she closer to one son than the other? Because she's the one that orchestrated it. I don't know if you guys been paying attention, but she orchestrated it. She came up with the idea, but the fur. Sorry guys, I just ate before I did this Bible study. I just ate and the food made me sleepy. But she's the one that actually devised the plan. She came up with the fur idea. She came up with half the plan too. So I don't know, what is it like. She didn't like Esau, which is the firstborn. What will I tell father? Once again, Rebecca paves the way for her favorite son. Ooh, you see, so there was a favorite son. So she had favoritism. Isaac, Esau's foreign wives are causing trouble. If only Jacob can marry a girl from my own people. Remember how your father's servant found me at my father's house in Haran and brought me to you? Isaac's thoughts go back over the years to the day he first saw Rebecca. He also knows there will be trouble between the sons he sends. Oh man, this is so far. Like, I'm literally like 2 feet away from this book. Let me try to pull it a little closer, guys. I'm sorry. That's why I'm like messing up so badly, because I'm far from it. Isaac's thoughts go back over the years to the day he first saw Rebecca. He also knows there will be trouble between the sons he sends for Jacob. Now, if you came in a little late, What they're referring to right here is Rebecca was just scouted, picked up from her family. Yeah, they were out in the yard, and Abraham's servant said, "The first girl who brings me and my camel some water will be will be Isaac's wife." And that was her when she was younger. So they ended up getting married, and literally, he said it was love at first sight. Ashamed but frightened by Esau's anger, Jacob comes to his father. "Go to your uncle Laban, find a wife from among his family. God bless you, my son." So that's crazy. So he has to go to his uncle to find a wife, basically amongst his family, probably one of his cousins. Like, because if you're gonna go to your uncle to find a woman, she's probably like a second, third cousin or something. You know what I mean? Some way, somehow. A few hours later, at the edge of the camp, "Goodbye, Jacob. I'll send word when it's safe for you to come or come back." So right here, this is Rebecca, which is the mother, and she's saying goodbye to her son, and she says she'll send word when it's safe for him to come back. "My father is old. I may never see him again. Esau wants to kill me. You are the only one I will be able to come back to." Wow, that's deep. So what he's saying is, if I leave, my pop's old. Look at him. This is his pop up here. He's saying that his pop's old. That if he leaves, he might not even be able to see him again. And then his brother wants to kill him. So that sucks. Traveling farther and farther from his family, Jacob is tortured by loneliness. He especially misses his mother, who had always protected and advised him. As night approaches, Jacob collapses in weariness. So look at him right here. He's tired. He's sleepy. All that because he wanted the riches. If he would have just stood in his place and not been greedy, right? That night, he dreams of a shining stairway reaching up to heaven. On the stairway, angels go up and down as if bringing help from God. And Jacob hears God speak to him, promising to take care of him and bring him safely home again. So this is his dream. Looks like he has a vision of like a stairway to heaven with clouds. You see that? The next morning, Jacob wakes up, still awed by his dream. Surely God is in this place, and the glare is really bad, guys. Sorry about that. Surely God is in his place, and this is the gate of heaven. Jacob realizes the wrong he has done, but he knows that God will help him if he obeys him. Quickly, he turns a stone on end for an altar and worships God. He calls the place Bethel, which means the house of God. So Bethel means the house of God. If God will go with me, I'll be God's man. Wow. Let me process that sentence again. If God will go with me, I'll be God's man. I don't know what he means by that. I guess be like a servant of God. Jacob goes on his way, a stronger, nobler young man. He is eager to put behind him the dishonesty of his past and to share God's love and care. Oh, now that he already got the birthright, now he's eager to now he's eager to put his dishonesty behind him. Why wasn't he like that when before he had the birthright? Broken trust based on Genesis 29. Jacob continues his journey. At last, he gets close to Haran. Maybe those shepherds at the well can help me find my uncle, Laban. Can you tell me how to find the chieftain Laban? So instead of captain, it's chieftain. Chieftain. The root word is chief. Ten is the add-on. So chieftain. Laban. Sure, that flock of sheep is his. That's his daughter Rachel with them. So it looks like that's Rachel over there with a flock of sheep. She's gorgeous. Yo, they stay meeting these these girls out of nowhere, bro. Yo, they just be picking up girls from like villages and just be like, man, you mad pretty, come with me, you're mine. just look at you. Yo, that's how it was back in the day. That's crazy. Like your family would just give you away with no with no precaution, with no like you don't know the man for nothing. Just take her and get her out of the house. Quickly, Jacob rolls the stone from the well and helps Rachel water the sheep. When he tells her who she is or who he is, nah, boy, I'm going to start again, guys. I got a tripod in front of my face. Quickly, Jacob rolls the stone from the well and helps Rachel water the sheep. Period. Remember, period means stop, so you got to treat it like a stop sign. When he tells her who he is, commas pause. So you just got to like stop and go. When he tells her who he is, she runs to find her father. That night, Laban holds a feast for his nephew Jacob. Leah and the older daughter serves the food, while Rachel, the younger daughter, listens to Jacob tell about his home and the long journey to Haran. So they're all partying over here. You see everybody? Look like this dude got biscuits. Is that a dude? Is that a woman? Oh, that's probably a woman. Why she look like she had like a pharaoh head garment on? But so they're having a conversation. He's telling everybody about his homeland. A month later, Laban makes a bargain with Jacob. Well, enough freeloading. If you start working for me, I'll pay you. What's your price? I'm in love with Rachel. I will work for you for 7 years if I can marry her. I guess you'd be better than a complete stranger. That's crazy, right? For 7 years, Jacob takes care of Laban's flock. That's crazy because I kind of remember the story in the actual Bible. This story doesn't turn out too good. For 7 years, Jacob takes care of Laban's flocks because he loves Rachel. The years fly by in what seems like just a few days. Finally, the days come when Jacob can claim his bride. I've worked for 7 years. Now give me Rachel for my wife. You have served me well, Jacob. I'll arrange a wedding feast right away. At the end of a joyful wedding feast, Laban brings his daughter to Jacob. Jacob, here's your bride. Rachel, I've waited 7 years to marry. I've waited 7 years for this moment. What's crazy is he's trading labor for his daughter. Like that's crazy to fathom. Like and now, like, but still in modern day, there's still some religions, there's some cultures. You know, like I believe like certain Arab communities, certain the Hindus, certain like Buddhas, like certain families are still like that where they would rather assign you or have somebody for you where you don't really get a chance to choose your own bride or choose your own husband. It's whoever the family chooses for you, which is crazy. But in the morning, daylight, Jacob discovers that Laban pulled a switch. Yeah, that's crazy because I thought about like a switch that goes on a Glock. He pulled a switch, turns a regular handgun into like an automatic. You gave me Leah, not for Rachel, for my wife. Oops, I smacked that camera. My bad. The trickster has been tricked himself. Laban has conned Jacob the same way Jacob conned his father and Esau. Yo, Laban schemed them, bro. He had him work for 7 years, and he's like, "No way, take back seeds. You're not gonna have my daughter." I couldn't very well give my daughter away before my older daughter was married. You may have cheated your older brother out of his birthright, but that's not how we do things here. Yo, so he did it on purpose. But Rachel is the one I love. I worked 7 years for her. Bro, so so much for a contract, word of mouth. Tell me what? I'm sorry. Dang it. Let me take these glasses off, guys. Every time I get to that page, since that page is farther from me, my eyes are fuzzy. And these glasses suck. Look at glasses suck. Oh my gosh. Tell you what, promise to work for me for another 7 years and you can marry Rachel next week. Yo, another 7 years? That's 14 years of labor for Rachel? I'll do it. So he's just like, look, and I'm just going to sacrifice 7 plus 7. That's 14 years, bro. For a woman? You working 14 years for a woman? That's crazy. Laban tricked me. Rachel, I love you, and I'll work 7 more years so I can marry you. I do love you, Jacob, and I want to marry you too. Yo, that's crazy. So he about to work a whole 14. That's like prison. That's like an imprisonment. Like he about to work a whole 14 years. Well, he already did 7. I can't even imagine any guy in their right mind in modern day that would like work basically essentially for free for 7 years just to marry a woman. That's crazy, right? This is both of them right here. But I guess times were different back then, right? Yo, what's up, JB? What's up, Retired? What's up, Super Spy? What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for stopping through the chat. What's up, Jerry? Leaving Laban, based on Genesis 31. So Jacob marries Rachel and begins another 7 years of work for Laban. But God blesses Jacob and makes him rich with his own flocks. One day, Jacob calls his wives together. Yo, Jacob got mad wives. Have you noticed that your father keeps scowling at me even while he's cheating me? I think it's time to go. God is telling me to return home. Look at, you see all the lambs or sheeps? Jacob loads everything on camels and herds his flocks together. Soon the caravan is on its way. Laban may follow. So keep watch and tell me if you see him coming. So they're all out. They packed up all their herds. As they travel, Jacob guards the camel carrying Rachel and her only son, Joseph. Jacob's other 10 sons. Dang it! 10 sons? That's a lot of boys. Jacob's other 10 sons watch with jealous eyes. Without realizing it, Jacob sows seeds of trouble for the sons he loved. Yo, you know what's crazy? What I learned in the Bible is that a lot of these biblical names, they have tons and tons of sons. Like they may have like 1, 2 daughters, if that. Plenty of people in the Bible, they don't ever mention daughters. Every once in a while, they'll mention some daughters, but they'd be like 14 sons, 9 sons, 10 sons. Like, how do you shoot son after son after son out? Like, you know what I mean? That's crazy. Several days after leaving Laban, look, riders, Laban and his men, quick, tell Jacob. So you see right here, it's like a little smoke cloud, kind of like what you see in like a Western movie. This is the landscape, and you see everybody coming on horses, and you got the cloud of smoke, and you got these 2 people over here. He's like, look, riders and his men, quick, tell Jacob. Jacob is ready when his father-in-law arrives. Jacob, why did you leave without giving me a chance to say goodbye? I was afraid you might have kept your daughters from going. Well, you're probably right. But the God of your fathers had told me not to hurt you. So he left and he didn't want to tell because he thought he was gonna get hurt. And he's like, look, you was probably not even gonna let me marry her and you was gonna keep her away from me. So guess what? I didn't tell you and I left. Laban is furious, but he doesn't dare go against Jacob's God. So Laban and Jacob set up a pile of stones to mark a border and make an agreement to go their separate ways. You stay on your side and I'll stay on mine. What's crazy too is that a lot of these stories show these people afraid of the main character's God, which is our God, you know, the one and only true mighty God, right? The guy who came down in flesh form, we'll learn later on, in the form of Jesus, to show, you know, how to be a perfect person. But from pharaohs to like this guy and all these people in the Bible, a lot of people, you remember they had multiple gods too. There was what they call idolatry. They worshipped first false idols. So it's crazy because when they spoke about the one true God, a lot of people like the one true God spoke fear in the people. People got scared. It's like, oh no, we don't want to mess with your God. Your God's the one true God. Based on Genesis 32:33, touched by an angel. Eagerly, Jacob continues his journey home on the way. He has a wonderful vision. An army of angels, the army of God, is camped beside me. So he has a vision. This is what a vision is one of the gifts of God, like the gift of discernment, the gift of gab, gift of, gift of tongues. There's many spiritual gifts that one may have. The gifts of prophecy, the gifts of translating of tongues and so on. Well, Jacob had a vision. And as you can see in this vision, an army of angels, the army of God is camped beside me. So you see right here, you have what looks to be like a bunch of angels. This is in his vision. The angels comfort Jacob, but as he gets closer to home, he begins to worry about his brother Esau, who once planned to murder him. Ride ahead of me, and I'll look for Esau. Tell him I'm coming home with my family and flocks. Tell him I hope he will forgive me. Jacob waits anxiously for the riders to come back. He remembers the time he lied to his father and stole his brother's blessing. So, mind you, Jacob's been out for what, 14 years or close to it? Jacob's been out for a long time because he's been out for at least 7 years because he worked the 7 years. Remember, all that time went by because he was trying to get the girl, and then the father of the girl played him and said, "No, now you got to do another 7 years." But now they haven't seen each other in a long time. Remember the animosity, how he stole his birthright? Jacob waits anxiously for the riders to come back. He remembers the time he lied to his father and stole his brother's blessings. And when Esau threatened to kill him. Remember, because his brother was mad. His brother was like, I'm going to kill him. He was so angry with hatred. Finally, the scouts return. We saw Esau. He's coming to meet you with 400 men. Wow. Esau got a big squad. 400 men is deep. Jacob is frightened, but he is also shrewd. He divides his caravan into two parts. Then he sends servants ahead with presents for Esau. If Esau attacks one group, the other can get away. And when will we meet Esau? I'm sorry. And when we meet Esau, we will give him your generous gifts of goats, camels, cows, and donkeys. He will be very impressed. That night, Jacob prays, confessing his sins, admitting his fear, and asking for God's help. But still, he cannot sleep. My family would be safer on the other side of the river. Look at him right here, praying. So it is said that when you pray and you worship, you try to set up a space in your house, or see how he's at the top of a mountain or next to a cliff. Just technically you could pray anywhere, any time of the day, doesn't matter. But it's always helpful to build longer and longer prayer time. So let's say if you pray 3 minutes, try to turn it to 4 or 5 minutes. Let's say if you pray before one meal, try to pray before every meal, and try to expand your relationship with God. It is said that Jesus used to talk to God for 8, 9, 10 hours. Now, to me, I'll be completely honest with you. Me personally, the narrator, the guy who's reading right now, 9 hours is difficult of like talking in your brain, because my thoughts, I get distracted. I get distracted, but I'm not there yet. I'm not, like completely where I want to be as far as, spirituality goes. But that's what he's doing. He's finding a peaceful place where he can go and read his his thoughts to the one and only. So in the middle of the night, Jacob moves his family. You will be safer on the other side, Rachel. I wish you would stay with us. So they're all relocating. Look at those. What's that? Like a tent on top of a camel? You see that? It's like tents on top of camels. That's crazy. This dude's cold. This dude is in the water. But Jacob needs to be alone. Later that night, he prays. He feels himself wrestling with a mysterious stranger. The struggle is fierce, but Jacob does not give up until the stranger blesses him. Blair, let me sit up. I'm sorry, guys. I gotta sit up because I can't see nothing. But Jacob does not give up until the stranger blesses him. Your name will not be Jacob any longer. Instead, you will be Israel. Wow, or Israel, which means God wrestler. Wow, I ain't ever know that, guys. I ain't ever know that Israel meant God wrestler. That's crazy. The next morning, Jacob is limping because he hurt his hip wrestling with the angel. But Jacob is happy because he knows God has blessed him. Jacob goes confidently to meet his brother Esau. Jacob, my brother, I'm happy to see you again. Esau, I'm so glad you don't hate me anymore. Look at the two brothers right here made peace after what? 7 to 14 years? Did he really do that other 7-year term? I didn't catch that. Did he really do the other 7-year term, or did he bounce and leave early? I think he bounced and left early, and he didn't do the full 7 years. He probably did a couple days after. He didn't do the full 7 years. But this is the first time that they saw each other in a long time. And he's not mad at his brother anymore. And yeah, proudly Jacob presents his family. What? Proudly Jacob presents his family. Well, the ones he loves most anyway. This is my wife, Rachel, and my son, Joseph. So he's introducing his family. It's good to see my brother's family. God has really blessed you. Dang it, he got a lot of kids. Look at this. That's crazy. That's a lot of kids, right? Sheesh. So we're going to stop right here at homecoming based on Genesis 35. We'll get to that for the next Bible study. All right, guys. So Bible studies are going to be on Tuesdays and Thursdays starting at 7:30. We'll do them about an hour long. We're about to reach our hour mark in 1 minute. So Tuesdays and 30s. Tuesdays and 30s. Oh my gosh, my brain's all discombobulated. Tuesdays and Thursdays, 7:30 to 8:30. Bible study until we finish this book. We still got a nice amount of the book to go. So but so next Bible study will be on Thursday. We're gonna continue moving forward. I actually read the traditional Bible before I started this study, and yeah, my brain's kind of fried. I ate food, and then I went into reading the traditional Bible, which is no pictures or nothing. And that's more like the terminology and the wordage is a little bit more difficult than this wordage. But thank you guys all for watching. Appreciate your support. Please consider leaving a comment and or clicking that thumbs up button. Thank you very much for watching. This is your homeboy, Holy Toon. Have a wonderful night, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters. Peace out. Amen.